Joining us now is Congressman Eric Burleson. Congressman has called the CR a total dumpster fire. Congressman, welcome to the program. We have about 7 minutes here, and we appreciate you calling in. I know you just came right off the floor. Take some time and educate us. What is a CR? What is in this bill, and why are you against it?
Yeah, a CR is a continuing resolution. In fact, Charlie, we basically have been doing this since whenever we took the majority. We've only been kicking the can down the road. We're continuing the budget that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have passed. We cannot seem to muster the willpower to make the kind of cuts that are necessary. And so what happens is we get to the end of the year when our fiscal year ends on September 30th. And in order to avoid a government shutdown, they will pass a continuing resolution. Usually they'll do it until Christmas so that we get to this moment where we all want to go home for Christmas. And then they jam us with an omnibus bill that has a bunch of pork and a bunch of bad things in it. And that's exactly what we have going on right now. 1,500-page, pork barrel piece of garbage that everybody who votes for it should be ashamed of themselves.
So what do you have to say to the counter that we want a clean slate for President Trump, a belief that I hold, that we do not want any of the legislative poison for Trump to inherit, right? We want Trump to have a clean slate, and that the only way to get President Trump a clean slate was by passing the CR.
No, I think that you could do a clean CR and that would accomplish the goal, but that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to just throw in a bunch of items in this to get Democrats to vote for it. So this is a Democrat-heavy bill. We're going to fund the new Francis Scott Key Bridge. There's a RFK Stadium project in here. There's a huge boondoggle for the pharmaceutical companies, for Big Pharma in this. And so Big Pharma stands to benefit $50 billion out of this bill. The bill might as well say it's being brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, so walk through the process here if we can. Was there an appropriations process? Did this come out of committee? Did you guys get a chance to debate all of these details? Were you guys given weeks of informed consent here? Walk us through the process here.
No, all of that sounds great, and that's the way it's supposed to work, but that's not what happened. The process is these bills are supposed to be 12 separate bills or funding bills, and they go through the subcommittees of appropriations, and then they are debated and they come to the floor for a vote individually. That does not happen. Instead, the speaker holds all the cards and holds all the power. And what the speaker did is over the weekend, we were hearing rumors that this was going to be an omnibus bill and it's going to include all of these provisions. And that's the information I got was through rumors. So I texted the speaker, tried to reach out to him. Others did as well, but we didn't know about what was in the bill. Nobody, other than the speaker's office, knew what was in the bill until he came in and kind of gave us a little bit of framework on Tuesday morning. Well, here we are Wednesday. We're probably going to vote on it today. They dropped the text of the bill last night at 6:00 at night. You cannot tell me people have had enough time to read a 1,500-page bill between last night and tonight.
And so if we didn't have time to read it, and I know that this is a difficult topic, and I say this as someone who wants a clean slate for President Trump, who is to blame for this, Congressman?
Sadly, I think that Mike Johnson could do better. I have a lot of high hopes for him as an individual, and he's an amazing human being. But this is a complete failure, and I think just objectively, this is not the way we should be doing things. And I think ultimately it falls on him to step forward and do better.
So let's play some piece of tape here. Let's go to cut 53 of Speaker Johnson, of which, look, I'm not going to comment on that because I think the speaker wants to have a clean slate, but why not work through Christmas? Let's play cut 53.
Well, I was communicating with Elon last night. Elon and Vivek and I are on a text chain together, and I was explaining to them the background of this. They understand the situation. They said, it's not directed to you, Mr. Speaker, but we don't like the spending. I said, guess what, fellas? I don't either. We got to get this done, because here's the key. By doing this, we are clearing the decks, and we are setting up for Trump to come in roaring back with the America First agenda. And all of our fiscal conservative friends, I'm one of them, will be able to finally do the things that we've been wanting to do for the last couple of years. Right now, Democrats still control the pens, and that's the problem. So we got to get this thing done so we don't have the shutdown, so we get the short-term funding measure, and we get to March where we can put our fingerprints on the spending. That's when the big changes start, and we can't wait to get there.
Right.
Congressman, of course, respectfully, I'm not asking you to bash a colleague or someone who is in leadership, but can you at least show where you disagree with what the speaker said there?
Yeah, I think that again, we always hear the rhetoric that we're going to do the hard things, in the future, but we got to do this right now. I've heard that every time we come up to a decision or a vote. But what I will say, he didn't have to do this. He did not have to do an omnibus bill. He could have done a clean CR. There's no way the Democrats would have turned down a clean CR without having to add all this other pork into it. So that's why I think that, respectfully, I disagree that this was the only way to get this done.